So, hey everybody, welcome to Gerber Business Solutions interview. I have Evan from evanmade.com, and he's here to talk to us a little bit about what we're talking about this month, making big moves and being confident in those big moves that you make as a business owner. So, Evan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story? You're here in Argentina, well, not here, but there in Argentina. Yeah. And tell us briefly about how that came to be, maybe a little bit about your background before that, and then what you're doing there.
Absolutely. So my background is in graphic design. I studied graphic design in college and graduated. And when I graduated, my wife and I talked about living abroad, and something that we had always talked about, something we'd wanted to do. But I had been given a really good job offer with a company in Seattle, which is where both of our families were located. And so I took this job with an agency, spent about 4 years at this agency, really got to cut my teeth as a graphic designer, working with big multinational brands like Nike and Gatorade and Pepsi and Microsoft, Starbucks, lots of small brands as well, startup companies, everything in between, and got to learn a whole lot about the process of being a designer, how a design consultancy works, and also learned a lot from other designers, other creatives. And then after about 4 years, I got recruited by a company called Freefly Systems. And Freefly is a company that makes heavy lift drones for the filmmaking industry. They're in many people's opinion, the leading innovator in camera movement technology. So everything from heavy lift drones to camera gimbals, specifically the Movi, which anyone who's really into filmmaking will have heard of that product. So I was recruited as the very first designer for this company. And it was an opportunity to jump into a young company that had just kind of shed its startup skin, if you will, was starting to really become a solvent company. And so I spent about 3.5 years there building their brand, helping to create brands for new products, a lot of the digital marketing, other things like that. So that was my in-house experience, and I was able to really learn a lot about how a business works, the multiple disciplines that you need to know when you're marketing and promoting a business and promoting a product. Got to learn a lot about the product development process, got to help out a little bit with product design and different things like that. It was really, I feel like I got thrown right into the middle of an experience where I was able to just absorb as much knowledge and as much information as I could about running a business, and especially the creative side of that business. I created a small creative team. And then the one thing that was on kind of my business or my career bucket list was to go freelance and to work for myself. And all through my career, I've done a little bit of freelance, a little bit of kind of moonlighting freelance work for small businesses and also some big companies as well. And given the timing of everything, my wife and I discussed it, and we talked about moving abroad. We decided that we wanted to move abroad, so we moved to Argentina. So I put in my notice, and I will say the best way to quit a job you like is to tell them that you're moving out of the country to have a new and exciting experience, because then it's very clear that it's not them, it's you. And so they were super excited, super supportive, and I still have a great relationship with those people and keep in touch and get on the phone with their team every once in a while as they transition. But going freelance was a huge leap for me. It was something that I wanted to do, and we just coupled it with this leap of moving our whole family, my wife and I and 4 kids, to Argentina. So that's, I guess, that gets me to today. We've been here 3 months now, so yeah.
Yeah, what an amazing journey. And so you were interested in graphic design, you got big, you got into this amazing company, and now you're branching off to do freelance on your own in Argentina, that's definitely a big step. So what, as a 3-month, and you've been doing this more longer than that for freelance, in Argentina, this big move, what's been a struggle that you've had as a new business owner in another country? And maybe if you can tie that into how to continue to have confidence in that big step and that big change that you have.
Well, I will say it's been interesting. I was pretty nervous with just the challenge of going freelance full time. I mean, trying to match what my salary was before, and actually cost of living is it's surprising. We were expecting that it would be a lot lower. I mean, we didn't make this move without knowing specific numbers, but before doing this, we expected that it would be this really affordable place to live, and in some ways it is, but some things are more expensive. Anyways, it's a little bit complex. I won't go into that, but making the move to Argentina was one way to kind of mitigate the costs a little bit and help mitigate the risk for how much income I had to make bills, basically. And we had some savings, of course, but it was an intimidating aspect of it. Was, am I going to be able to make enough money? And so am I going to be able to have enough work to do? Excuse me. So I think that was one of the big challenges. But one thing that I have found is that I've been really lucky making an international move like this. I mean, most of my clients are on the East Coast, which I was living on the West Coast. And so it really is no change other than I'm a time zone ahead of the East Coast instead of 3 hours behind. And so it's been a really seamless experience for all my clients, but I would say the biggest challenge for me has been time management. And I think part of that is because I'm not naturally good at time management. I would love to have a little project manager, assistant, helper, or something like that, if I could find some way to make that happen. But managing my time has been a big challenge, prioritizing, and it's been a constant struggle. And every week I'm fine tuning. I mean, on Sunday night, I said to my wife, "This is going to be a really good week. I'm going to have a really good week this week." And Monday and Tuesday are almost over, and it's been a challenging week. So, but luckily, I have the work that I need, and I'm staying busy, but really being efficient and being able to take on extra projects that help develop the business and help to find new clients and drum up new work. It's been challenging to find the time to really do that and do that well.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking the truth that every business owner goes through, whether it's big or small or entrepreneurial or seed to startup. Any type of business owner goes through this, what I call a roller coaster of emotions, and go through it too. Like, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I have so much enthusiasm for my business and for the clients that I'm working with, and then it'll be like a dead day, and I'll be looking around going, what is going on? So business ownership, because you're the owner, it takes on a new beast, and you feel responsible for it in a way that you didn't when you were working for someone. So
and that's been I think the biggest challenge when I have days where I don't have a pressing deadline. I mean, luckily my work is really deadline driven, and so I have a client that says I need this thing and I need it by next week, and so I have been able to structure and have a nice snapshot of what my workload is. But when that workload gets kind of whittled down, and sitting there and thinking, what can I work on now? I have a little bit of time. What's the most effective way to use this time? That's been a big challenge for sure.
Are there any insights that have to do with the approach that you've taken here?
Well, this has been a real big learning experience for my whole family. our experience with making this move was that we talked about it and we talked about it and we talked about it. And then one day we bought the plane tickets. And once we bought those plane tickets, everything started to happen. And I feel like that really translates into any kind of business venture or project or whatever it is. And I keep thinking that the words that I keep saying are, we just decided to. And I feel like that's kind of become, I guess you could say, a motto, is decide to, and, to blank. And once you make the decision, and that decision doesn't happen until you've actually taken that first step. But once you take that first step, everything kind of falls into place. And I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that that's going to happen every time, but for this move in particular to Argentina, going freelance, once we made the decision, everything fell into place. And really that became the pivot point for us, was making the decision and taking that very first step. And so, I mean, that's one thing that I think I will take with me into any new adventure, any new business decision that I make, is to make a decision and take a step. Yeah.
Additional insight, just the determination is what you're saying, to know that it's a good plan for your business, to take that leap, and then to do whatever it takes to make sure that it continues to feel right along the way. That's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
There you go. It's been amazing watching this transition that you've been going through with the new move that you've made. And I know that, I mean, you mentioned before that you're seeking followers to find out more about your experience in Argentina. Yeah. So is there a way that they can get a hold of you to follow what your experience is like there?
Yeah, so we created kind of a family Instagram account. It's 12-Foot Leap. It's all spelled out, and that's where we've been posting photos and videos of the kids and of our experience and some of the challenges and a little bit of the work that I'm doing and whatnot. And so if you want to follow along and kind of see what our experience is like, that would be a great place to go. I'm on Instagram at Evan McDonald. And my website, evanmade.com. So if you're looking for branding help or anything like that, that's a good place to get a look at what I do.
Nice. Thank you so much. And Evan said that he might give us some links to go along with this video as well, so you can see a little bit about what he does. Really, it's been an amazing opportunity to sit with you today, Evan. He's an old good friend of mine from way back in the day, and we really are grateful to be able to collaborate in this way. And we hope that your experience in Argentina is everything that you want it to be, and we're excited to watch you along the way as well.
All right, thanks.
Hey, you're welcome.